No one answered distress signals from dead sectors, especially not ones that flickered like a dying heartbeat. Commander Elias Varn almost ignored it. Almost. The signal was weak, unstable, buried under radiation storms and drifting wreckage. This part of space had been abandoned years ago after the war. Nothing survived here. Nothing should survive here. Yet something was still calling. Elias stared at the console, jaw tightening. Could be a trap, his system warned. Or someone's last chance, he muttered. That was enough. His ship shifted course. The source appeared slowly through the debris field. A broken alien vessel. But not like anything human had seen before. It shimmered. Even damaged, its structure bent light like crystal, glowing faintly in soft pulses, as if it were alive. Huge fractures ran across its surface, black scorch marks cutting deep into its hull. This wasn't an accident. It had been hunted. Elias didn't hesitate. He docked. The moment he stepped inside, silence wrapped around him. Not empty, not dead, just waiting. The walls glowed faintly, pulsing like a slow heartbeat. Every step echoed too clearly, like the ship itself was listening. Then he heard it. A faint sound. Not mechanical. Not quite a voice. Something emotional. He followed it. At the center of the ship, he stopped. And for the first time in years, Elias didn't know what to do. Behind a broken console, something small was curled up. Very small. Barely 4 feet tall. A fragile alien girl. Her body shimmered like glass filled with light, but the glow was weak, flickering unevenly like it could vanish at any second. Cracks of dim energy traced across her form. She looked broken. Her large glowing eyes lifted slowly toward him. No anger. No defense. No hope. Just quiet acceptance. Like she already knew how this would end. Elias slowly lowered himself to one knee. Not as a tactic. As respect. Hey, his voice softened, careful not to startle her. I'm not here to hurt you. She didn't respond. Didn't move. But her glow flickered, uncertain. Confused. Like she didn't understand why he was still there. Why he hadn't turned away. She tried to stand. Her body trembled. And failed. She collapsed forward. Elias moved instantly, catching her before she hit the ground. She was weightless. Too light. Like something that had already been fading for too long. The moment he touched her, her glow reacted. Faintly brightening, stabilizing just a little. Not fear. Something else. Something new. Elias noticed immediately. His expression sharpened. Okay, you're connected to this ship, he whispered. Now it made sense. The pulses in the walls. The way the ship felt alive. She wasn't just inside it. She was part of it. Which meant, if the ship died, she would too. Elias got to work. Fast. Scanning systems. Rerouting energy. Patching alien tech with human tools that weren't designed for this. It was messy. Imperfect. But it was working. Barely. Each adjustment made her glow steadier. Stronger. For the first time, she didn't look like she was about to disappear. She looked like she was holding on. Then the ship trembled. Hard. Not internal damage. External. Elias froze. His scanner lit up instantly. Multiple incoming signals. Fast. Hostile. They were back. Whoever attacked her before had returned to finish the job. Elias looked down at her. Small. Fragile. Still recovering. And completely alone. Until now. He exhaled slowly. Yeah, not happening. He stood up, positioning himself between her and the direction of the incoming threat. No hesitation. No doubt. She looked up at him again. Her glow flickered. Fear was still there. But now, something else had appeared. Something fragile. Something dangerous. Trust. Outside, enemy ships closed in. Inside, the smallest survivor in the sector watched a human stand in front of her like a wall. Not because he had to, but because he chose to. And in that moment, for the first time since everything was taken from her, she wasn't alone anymore. The first explosion shook the ship like a dying heartbeat. Elias didn't flinch. Stay behind me, he said quietly. He didn't know if she understood his words, but somehow, She understood him. Her glow flickered, then steadied, just a little, as if responding to his presence. Outside, the enemy ships locked onto the drifting vessel. Inside, systems struggled to respond. Weapons? Offline. Shields? Barely functional. Escape? Impossible. Elias exhaled slowly. Yeah, we're doing this the hard way. Another impact slammed into the hull. The walls rippled with dim light, reacting like nerves under stress. She gasped softly, not from the hit, but from the pain. Elias turned instantly. Her glow had dimmed again, cracks of energy spreading across her small frame. The realization hit him hard. They're not just attacking the ship, he whispered. They're hurting you. That changed everything. Elias moved faster. He ripped open a damaged panel and forced a manual override, connecting his suit's power cord directly into the alien system. Warning lights exploded across his visor. Unstable connection. Unknown energy response. I know, he muttered. Just hold together. Energy surged. Wild. Uncontrolled. But it worked. The ship pulsed, stronger this time. And so did she. Her glow flared suddenly, brighter than before, forcing Elias to shield his eyes for a split second. When he looked back, she was staring at him, not with fear, but with something deeper. Recognition. Another blast hit. Closer. The outer hull cracked further. They didn't have time. Elias clenched his jaw. All right, if you can feel this ship, then listen carefully. He didn't know why he said it. Didn't know if it would work. But something told him. She wasn't just surviving inside this ship. She was the ship. Her glow pulsed in response. Weak. But listening. Then fight, Elias said. Silence. Then, the ship answered. Lights surged through the walls. Not random. Not broken. Focused. Controlled. The entire structure began to shift, like something waking up after a long sleep. Outside, the attacking ships paused. Confused. They had expected a dying target. Not this. Inside, the small alien trembled. The effort was overwhelming. Her glow surged, then flickered violently. Elias dropped to one knee beside her again. Hey, HFY, don't burn yourself out. He placed a steady hand on her shoulder. Not alone. You're not doing this alone. For a moment, everything stilled. Then something impossible happened. Her glow changed. It didn't just shine. It synchronized. With him. The energy flowing through the ship adjusted, stabilizing around Elias' human power source. Alien and human systems, completely different by nature, began working together. Not perfectly, but enough. Elias felt it. A connection. Not physical. Something deeper. Like the ship and her were trusting him, letting him in. Outside, enemy ships opened fire again. This time, the ship responded. A wave of light burst outward from the hull. Not a weapon. Not exactly. More like a pulse. A defensive shock. The nearest enemy ship staggered, its systems flickering as it drifted off course. Inside, she gasped again. But this time, she didn't collapse. She held it. Barely. Elias let out a breath he didn't realize he was holding. That's it, that's it. You're stronger than you think. Her eyes lifted toward him again. Still small. Still fragile. But no longer fading. Another enemy ship charged forward, preparing a direct strike. Elias' expression hardened. All right, one more time. He tightened the connection. Pushed more energy into the system. Warning screamed across his visor. Critical overload risk. I know, he snapped. The ship responded instantly. Light gathered at the fractured edges of the hull, forming something new. Not a weapon built for war, but something born from survival. Now, Elias shouted. She reacted. A focused beam of pure energy erupted forward. Clean. Precise. Powerful. It struck the incoming ship directly and tore through it. Silence followed. The remaining enemy ships hesitated. Then, they retreated. Just like that. It was over. Inside, the light faded. The ship slowly returned to its weak, damaged state. And she collapsed. Hey, no. Elias caught her again before she hit the ground. Her glow dimmed rapidly, weaker than before. She had pushed too far, given everything she had. Elias' voice dropped, softer now. You did it, you hear me? He adjusted his grip carefully, supporting her small form. You're still here. That's what matters. For a moment, there was no response. Then, a faint flicker. Her glow pulsed once. Weak, but steady. And slowly, very slowly, she leaned into him. Not from weakness, but choice. Elias froze for half a second, then relaxed slightly. Yeah, he whispered. That's new. The massive, silent ship drifted through space once more. Still broken, still vulnerable, but no longer alone. Because now, it had something it didn't have before. A human who refused to leave. She didn't wake up all at once. It was slow, careful, like something fragile deciding whether the world was safe enough to return to. Elias noticed immediately. Her glow, faint but steady, pulsed softly in his arms. Still weak, but alive. That was enough. You're stubborn, he muttered quietly. A small breath of relief escaped him as he adjusted his position against the damaged console, keeping her supported. Good. I like stubborn. Her eyes opened. Slowly. The same luminous glow, but different now. Before, there had been emptiness. Now, there was awareness. She looked at him, not with fear, not with confusion, but recognition. And then, something changed. A sudden pulse of light surged through her body. Elias tensed. What? The world around him disappeared. Not physically, but mentally. He was still in the ship, but he wasn't seeing it anymore. He was seeing her memories, flashes, fragments, emotion more than images. A sky filled with glowing structures. Massive living ships drifting like stars. A civilization made of light. Peaceful. Connected. Alive. Then, fire. The same ships burning. Exploding. Torn apart by dark, mechanical fleets. Cold. Precise. Relentless. Elias felt it. Not just what happened, but how it felt. Fear. Loss. Helplessness. They didn't fight, he whispered under his breath. They couldn't. Another flash. Her. Standing among others like her. All glowing. All connected. Then one by one, they vanished. Gone. Destroyed. Captured. Until only one light remained. Her. Elias' chest tightened. You're the last one. The vision shifted again. This time slower. Clearer. Her escaping. Alone. Her ship damaged. Being hunted across sectors. Not for territory. Not for war. For her. Elias felt the truth hit like a shockwave. They weren't trying to destroy you, he said quietly. They were trying to capture you. Because she wasn't just a survivor. She was something more. Something rare. Something powerful. The vision ended abruptly. Elias gasped as reality snapped back into place. The broken ship. The dim lights. Her small form in his arms. But now, he understood. She wasn't weak. She wasn't insignificant. She was the last living core of an entire civilization. And every enemy out there knew it. Her glow flickered again, softer this time. Uncertain. She had shown him everything. Not because she had to, but because she chose to. Trust. Elias let out a slow breath. Yeah, he murmured. That explains a lot. He looked down at her, meeting her gaze again. You're not just important. His voice hardened slightly. You're a target. Her glow dimmed slightly. She already knew that. What she didn't know was what he would do next. Elias shifted, sitting up straighter. His mind was already moving, calculating, planning. They'll come back, he said. Stronger, smarter, with more ships. That wasn't a guess. That was certainty. Because something like her didn't get hunted halfway. He glanced at the damaged systems around them, barely holding. Not enough for another fight like that. We can't stay here. Her glow flickered in response. Weak. Questioning. Elias gave a small, tired smile. Don't worry. I've got an idea. He tapped his wrist console, opening a secure channel. A location blinked on the screen. Far. Hidden. Human. A place no one would think to look. My people, he said quietly. We're good at protecting things. A pause. Then a slight smirk. Especially things the galaxy wants. Her glow shifted again. Not fully understanding, but feeling something in his voice. Confidence. Hope. For the first time, not borrowed. Her own. Suddenly, his scanner lit up again. Elias' expression dropped instantly. Already. Multiple signals. More than before. Much more. And they weren't alone this time. A massive signature appeared behind the smaller ships. Dark. Heavy. Dominating. Elias stared at it. That's not a patrol ship. It was something worse. A hunter command vessel. Built for one purpose. To make sure nothing escaped. Elias exhaled slowly. Yeah, they're done playing. The ship around them trembled again, reacting to the approaching threat. Her glow flickered with fear, but didn't collapse. Because this time, she wasn't facing it alone. Elias tightened his grip slightly, steadying her. His voice dropped, calm, firm, unshaken. Listen to me. Her eyes locked onto his. No more running. A beat. We survive this. His expression hardened. And then we make sure they never hunt you again. Outside, the massive enemy fleet moved into position. The broken alien ship stood no chance. But inside, something had changed. Not just survival. Not just connection. A decision. And humans were dangerous when they made those. Her glow pulsed once more. Stronger than before. Not because she wasn't afraid, but because now, she had something worth fighting for. The enemy fleet didn't slow down. It surrounded them. Dozens of ships. And behind them, that massive command vessel. Dark. Silent. Watching. Waiting. Elias stared at the scanner, then exhaled slowly. Yeah, this is bad. The ship trembled again, her glow flickering in response. Fear was still there, but it didn't consume her anymore. Not like before. Because now, she wasn't alone. Elias adjusted the connection one last time, stabilizing her energy with his own. It wasn't perfect, but it would hold. For now. All right, he said quietly, activating his comms. Let's see if anyone's listening. A signal burst from his ship. Encrypted. Human. For a moment, nothing happened. Then, a voice cracked through the static. Unidentified signal detected. Wait. Pause. Then sharper. Commander Varn? Elias smirked slightly. Good to hear you too. The voice on the other end changed instantly. Focused. Alert. Your location is flagged in a dead sector. What the hell are you doing out there? Elias glanced at the growing fleet outside. Picking a fight I'm gonna need help finishing. A brief silence. Then, say no more. The channel cut. For a second, everything was quiet again. Then the enemy moved. Weapons charged. Target locked. Elias looked down at her. Stay with me. Her glow pulsed. Steady. Trusting. The first wave fired. The alien ship raced. But before impact, space itself lit up. A flash. Then another. Then dozens. Human ships. Jumping in. Fast. Precise. Aggressive. They didn't hesitate. They didn't warn. They attacked. The battlefield erupted instantly. Human fighters tore through the outer enemy line, disrupting formations before they could stabilize. Larger cruisers followed, unleashing coordinated strikes with brutal efficiency. Inside the alien ship, she felt it. Not destruction. Protection. Elias let out a breath. Yeah, that's more like it. But then, the massive command vessel moved. Slowly. Deliberately. Its weapons began to charge. Far stronger than anything else on the field. Elias' expression darkened. That one's the problem. The human fleet noticed too. They shifted. Repositioned. Focused fire. It didn't matter. The command ship held. Then, it fired. A beam of pure annihilation energy cut through space, tearing apart everything in its path. 2 human ships vanished instantly. Inside, her glow spiked. Fear. Shock. Pain. Elias clenched his jaw. No, we're not losing this. He turned back to her. Hey, look at me. Her eyes met his. You're not just surviving anymore, he said firmly. You're the reason they're here. Outside, the human fleet regrouped, holding the line but barely. Elias leaned closer. Trust me one more time. A pause. Then, her glow answered. Stronger than ever before. Elias reconnected fully. No holding back. No limits. Warning screamed across his visor. System overload imminent. I know, he said quietly. The ship responded. Not weak. Not broken. Awake. Light surged through every fractured line of its structure, repairing, not physically, but energetically. The entire vessel transformed into something radiant. Something powerful. Outside, the battlefield paused for a split second. Because now, they saw it. The last survivor wasn't dying. She was rising. Now, Elias whispered. She didn't hesitate. A massive wave of light erupted from the ship. Not a beam, not a blast, a pulse. It spread across the battlefield instantly. Enemy systems failed. Weapons shut down. Shields collapsed. Even the command vessel stuttered. The human fleet didn't waste the moment. All units fire. Everything hit at once. And this time, the command ship broke. A chain reaction tore through its core. Then, it exploded. Silence followed. The remaining enemy ships retreated. Fast. Scattered. Gone. The battle was over. Inside the ship, the light faded slowly. Elias caught her as her strength finally gave out. But this time, she didn't collapse into nothing. Her glow remained. Soft. Stable. Alive. For a long moment, neither of them moved. Then Elias let out a quiet breath. Told you. Her eyes lifted toward him again. Not weak. Not afraid. Different. Stronger. Outside, human ships surrounded them, not as a threat, but as a shield. A voice came through comms again. Commander, what exactly did you just find? Elias looked down at her, then back out at the fleet. A small smile formed. Not what, he said quietly. Who? He paused, then added. And trust me. His eyes hardened slightly. She's under our protection now. Silence followed. Then, understood. No questions. No hesitation. Just human certainty. Inside the glowing ship, she leaned slightly closer to him again. Not because she had to, but because she wanted to. And for the first time since her world was destroyed, she wasn't the last of something lost. She was the beginning of something new. And the galaxy? It had just made the biggest mistake of its existence. Because it tried to hunt something small. And humanity decided to protect it